Imagine taking all of the best elements of baked spaghetti and chicken casserole and combining them. Well, you'd have chicken tetrazzini, a baked spaghetti dish filled with chicken, veggies, and creamy, cheesy sauce. It's a comforting delight. We'll get started with one large or family-sized rotisserie chicken. You just want to shred that up into large bite-sized chunks. Go ahead and discard the bones and the skin, of course, we don't need those. Next up, we'll melt 2 tablespoons of butter in a large pan or pot. And to that, we will add 8 ounces of cremini or button mushrooms that have been cleaned and sliced, followed by 1 small white onion that's been finely diced. Go ahead and stir that around in that fat and begin to sweat it down. Give it 4 to 5 minutes or so over medium to medium-high heat until we add in a few cloves of fresh minced garlic, followed by a couple tablespoons of flour. This is going to help thicken our sauce, and just stir that around until that flour is well incorporated into the butter. Next up, we're going to hit this with about a half a cup of a dry white wine. If you don't want to use wine or don't have it, chicken stock or water would be just fine, but go ahead and cook that off for 2 to 3 minutes and make sure you scrape up all that delicious fond and flavor off the bottom of your skillet. Following that, we'll add in some chicken stock, and of course, guys, all the amounts will be down below in the description if you want to make this yourself. Go ahead and continue to scrape up that fond, bring this up to a simmer. As you do, it should start to thicken up. We'll want to taste and season with fresh cracked pepper and a nice strong pinch of salt. I always like to do this after adding the stock because all different stocks have different salt levels. Next up, we'll add in 1 package of cream cheese, which I've cut into small pieces. Again, this is over medium heat. We're just going to press that in there and melt it as best we can. Once it is mostly melted in and nice and creamy, we're going to go in with some freshly grated Parmesan Reggiano cheese. This is going to add a nice sharpness and more salinity. We'll also grab some smoked gouda for creaminess and of course that beautiful smoked flavor. Grate that up and add that in. At this point, you can turn the heat to low. We're just going to barely finish melting off all those cheeses before we add in a cup or so of frozen peas. And guys, this could really be any vegetable. It could be frozen carrots, a mixture, but I love frozen peas. We'll add in all that chicken meat that we shredded earlier. And again, over low heat, we're basically just trying to combine all this, rewarm that chicken meat, and get everything nice and homogeneous. In the meantime, we're going to boil 1 pound of spaghetti. I got the pot size here that are broken in half. Makes tossing this casserole quite a lot easier, as you'll see in just a moment. And for our topping, we're going to grab some seasoned breadcrumbs, add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and a few tablespoons of melted butter. And just give all that a stir to thoroughly combine. Once that's done, go ahead and grab your cooked spaghetti that's been drained, followed by the chicken and cream sauce mixture. Put that into a large 9x13 baking dish, and then just stir and toss everything until those noodles are very thoroughly coated in that chicken and cream sauce. Once that's done, you're going to sprinkle over that breadcrumb topping. And by the way, you might want to put your oven to 375 at this point. Once you've sprinkled over the cheesy, buttery breadcrumb topping, just pop this bad boy in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. Everything's mostly cooked here. We're just trying to get it to set and get those breadcrumbs nice and toasty on top, just like that. And what do you know? I found some green onions in the fridge, so I'm going to drop those down over top for a little garnish. And you got to let this set for at least 20 to 25 minutes. Otherwise, when you try and plate it up, it's just going to be a gloppy, soupy mess. But I had a little bit of patience tonight, and I got a nice slice out of the corner there. I'm going to hit it with just a little more Parmesan cheese, because why the heck not? And I had some basil lying around, and I thought it would pair nicely with all the flavor notes here, so put a couple leaves on top. As you can see, guys, that pasta is perfectly cooked. It is not overly sauced, but still ultimately creamy and rich, nice and chewy. Those mushrooms have cooked down and become nice and earthy. Of course, there's like 4 different kinds of cheese in here, so you know it's not going to be bad. And that crunchy breadcrumb topping really adds a ton to the dish. I hope you'll give this a try. Again, you can substitute different meats or different vegetables. It's very forgiving and very versatile. and I guess I should say it's also very delicious. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you'll give it a try, and now it's your turn to go make something delicious.